Good evening, and welcome to the Midnight Spook Show here in the Horror Metal channel with your host, Hellhound. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do another tag video. This one is called the Small YouTuber Tag, which of course means, an up-and-coming YouTuber, I guess, who doesn't have, thousands of subscribers. It isn't really well known, like a household name. There's a lot of us, and I agree with Sean Erschen. Pretty much anybody who has under 1,000 subscribers, I would kind of consider a small YouTuber, I suppose. But I guess it depends on. Everybody probably has a different opinion on what makes a small YouTuber. But anyway, I was tagged by Sean Erschen, and he was tagged by Andrew R. Davis. I'm not really sure. I'm not really clear as to who created this tag, but it's very similar to an idea for a tag that I had. I was going to call it the YouTube Origins tag, all about how you got started, how you wanted to make videos, and who influenced you. But I'm not going to do that now because this has a lot of the same questions I had in mind, so I'll be able to get those answers out there using this tag. So let's go and get started. Anyway, the small YouTuber tag. Question number 1: what inspired you to make videos? Well, honestly, I've been writing reviews for horror movies for a long time, since I was like 13 or 14. And I've always been inspired more by, horror movie reviewers like Michael J. Weldon from Psychotronic, or John Fallon from Arrow in the Head, just to name a few among many, literally hundreds. And I always write reviews, and I thought, what if I did this, just spoke them out loud? What if I, had a visual, an audio and video equivalent of the reviews. Instead of reading them, I'm actually talking about them. I thought that'd be interesting. And I was more inspired by, I wasn't really inspired by any YouTuber per se. I was more inspired by horror hosts like Sven Gooley, or Wolfman Mac, or Joe Bob Briggs, or Elvira, Sir Graves Ghastly, the horror hosts. They have their own TV show. They show a really bad B-movie, like a horror and sci-fi movie from, like a classic, like an old one. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really cheesy, but they kind of make jokes about them, they kind of make fun of them, and point out trivia. I was more inspired by that, and actually, when I first started, I actually wanted to have a character like that. Now, Hellhound is essentially a character, but it's not like a really exaggerated, we're like the same, the man behind Hellhound and Hellhound are pretty much have the same opinions. I exaggerate a little bit, like when I talk about a movie I don't like, I exaggerate and say, I'd rather, jump off a bridge and watch that movie again, which, obviously I'm exaggerating, I'm being in character, but originally it was going to be much more than that. I was going to wear either a mask, which I decided against because of the muffle of my voice, or I wanted to wear face paint, like white and black face paint, like corpse paint, like King Diamond or something, wear a hood and, talk like this all the time, be like, yes, this was a very good movie, and I would recommend you watch it. I had all these ideas for something like that. I was going to do like a Vincent Price type voice and have a dark room with candlelight, but then I decided I didn't want to do all that. I didn't want to have to do all that, get up, put makeup on, and light candles every time I wanted to film a video. That would have gotten kind of overwhelming. Because I like to film videos all the time, and if I had to do all that every time I film a video, I feel like I'd get too lazy to do it, apply all that makeup, because I don't want it to look really neat. So I decided against that. So I'm just going to be me and just, talk about these movies. So that's pretty much what inspired me. I just thought it'd be a cool thing to do. But anyway, let's move on. I spent enough time on that question. Question number 2, describe your content in one sentence. Well, obviously, mostly horror movie reviews, but also talk about, also review metal albums, I talk about comic books. I review a lot of trade paperbacks and graphic novels, and some novels, actual novels as well. I do a lot of reading. I'm always reading something, but I hardly ever really feel compelled to review an actual book, an actual novel. I've talked about Stephen King a lot on this channel, but I also talk about Halloween, the 80s, paranormal, anything involving the supernatural. Just some things I enjoy, just various things that I'm into. Other non-horror franchises like James Bond, Godzilla, Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Battlestar Galactica, Doctor Who, a lot of things I'm into. A lot of sci-fi stuff too, obviously. But it's mostly horror related. Alright, question number 3. How long have you been on YouTube, and have you had other channels? Well, I first started a YouTube account just to watch videos and comment on them in maybe 2006 or 2007. And I did upload a video talking about guitar really early on, but it wasn't anything serious. I wasn't trying to have my own show or anything. I just wanted to talk about guitar. Then I uploaded my movie collection, my DVD collection, which was nothing compared to what it is now. I did that early on. Then I also uploaded a lot of live performances from a band I was in called Bloodstorm. And that was pretty much all I had at the beginning, was a video talking about guitar, a short video of my movie collection. I didn't go in depth. I just kind of filmed my DVD shelf and didn't really talk about it much. And then some performances from that band, which I put those to private because I don't want anybody to see them. It was our first show. The drummer made a lot of mistakes with the timing, and it made us sound bad. I think we did a pretty good job for our first show, but we actually changed our name because we found there was another band called Bloodstorm, which somehow escaped my grasp. Somehow I didn't realize, and then we kind of disbanded shortly after that. So I took those videos down. But anyway, yeah, I never had any other channel. I always just had the horror metal channel. Horror metal is a name I use for everything. Any forum that I'm on, it was one of my email addresses back in the day. I always use the name horror metal. I have been for well over a decade. Yeah, my name is Hellhound that I go by, but the name of my channel is horror metal, and that explanation behind that was. Wait, is there another question that asks that? Because I don't want to. Okay, there's another question that I'll answer that in. I just saw, what does your username mean? So I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, this is the only channel I've ever had, but I didn't start doing like my own show on here until about 3 years ago. All right, question number 4. What message are you trying to get across in your videos? I agree with Sean Erschen. I'm just trying to recommend some good horror movies. Just doing some advertising for some of my favorite movies you should watch and movies you shouldn't watch. Yeah, I don't actually tell anybody what they should and shouldn't watch. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that have found my channel, and they have similar opinions to me, and they say, okay, I kind of trust this guy. I think he has a lot of the same viewpoints as me. Maybe I'll, if I could change one person's mind about whether or not to watch a really good horror movie, then I feel like I've done my job well. That's pretty much the only reason to watch my channel. I mean, this is the only reason the main reason I have this channel, so I can recommend some really good movies, and so people don't miss out on some rare hidden gems. I feel like too many people just limit themselves to brand new movies coming out in theaters and all the songs that they play on the radio, all the big hits, the top 40 or whatever. I feel like people are missing out on the more obscure, more lesser known things. So that's pretty much what I try to do on this channel. And I know I review a lot of popular stuff too, so if you're going to be a hipster and say, oh, that stuff's too popular for me, I only listen to music that nobody else knows about, well, good for you. But yeah, that's pretty much just the point of my channel. Let's talk about some great movies and meet some great people, which wasn't something I planned on, but I've met a lot of really cool people for this channel, so I'm really glad that it was something I decided to do. Number 5, which YouTuber do you resemble the most in terms of content? Definitely Sean Erschen, and he pointed this out in his video. We're very similar. We have a very similar style. Our videos are formatted in a similar way. We don't edit our videos 100 times like some other YouTubers do. Nothing against people who do that. I feel like it's more personal to feel like when you watch my videos, it's like I'm having a conversation with you. It's like we're having a one-on-one discussion. It's not like you're watching like a music video or something. I did have video clips in my early videos, which I had to take out, which I'll get to in a minute. And I think there's another question on here that asks that. But yeah, definitely Sean Erschen. We agree on a lot of things. I could probably count on on one hand how many things we disagreed on, because we have like almost the exact same opinions. And a lot of times we do these tag videos, we have the same exact answers. So yeah, he's definitely the most like me when it comes to reviewing as well. Like I think we're kindred spirits. We're cut from the same cloth. We're very similar, and there's some other YouTubers that are similar to me too. I think Sean Ershen's the closest in our content. We definitely have our channels are very, very, very similar. All right, question number 6. What equipment do you use to film? Just my iPad. I film everything from my iPad and then upload it through YouTube. I felt like that's the easiest way. Like you don't have to use as much stuff. You just film the video on your iPad. You upload to YouTube on your iPad. I used my desktop computer in the past when I first started, along with a webcam. Now I have a laptop with a webcam, which I'm trying to figure out how to do live streams, because every time I try to do it on this iPad, it loses connection. I can't keep a live video feed for longer than a few minutes, which some of my viewers already know about because they've experienced that. I took all those live videos down because they didn't last long enough. But yeah, I used to use some editing software on my old computer. That's when I first started using clips, and like I had music and movie clips, and those videos I got flagged for copyright content, so I had to take them down. Even one of them was banned in Germany, so I ended up editing them and taking out the clips and stuff. I didn't do it very long, and it wasn't very well edited, so I figured I'm just going to not have video clips in my videos. I don't want to deal with the copyright, and I would hate to have it redo a video over, because I currently don't have any way to save them unless I did it from my laptop. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I plan on getting some better equipment soon, but this is working for now. This has been working well. Question number 7, what do you use to edit? Well, yeah, that's just the software on my computer, my desktop, and then it stopped connecting to the internet. It's a very old desktop. It's very out of date. It's probably obsolete now. It's an E-machine, Windows Vista. So I used to use that. Now I just use YouTube. I just use the video manager, the creator studio. So I just take certain things out, or I shorten things, or I don't edit my videos a whole lot, honestly. It's not really because I'm lazy. It's just because, again, as I said, I want it to feel more personal, more like a conversation. The only times I edit them is if I feel like there was something that didn't really fit. It just kind of dragged down, kind of slowed it down. But yeah, so I don't edit very much. But when I do, I just use the YouTube editor. Again, I used to have the software in my computer, but I just kind of stopped doing that. Question number 8, does your channel meet the new monetization guidelines? I had the option to monetize my videos. I got several emails about it. I just never did. I don't really feel like it'd be cool to do this for a living and make money, but I just kind of do it for fun. It's like a hobby. I already have a job, and maybe eventually I might do that. But I haven't read the newest updated guidelines, but I need to. So I can't really answer that. All right, question number 9: do you think the new guidelines are fair? Again, I'll have to reread them. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're fine. If they're YouTube can make their own rules, I don't see why they wouldn't be fair. Question number 10: if you had more money, equipment, support, what content would you make? Probably the same stuff, really. Just maybe I'd show some more clips, or I'd have some more cool edits, and some awesome visuals. Again, I don't really want to show movie clips in my videos because I just like to talk about them. I don't really need to comment on every single scene. No disrespect for people who do that. I think that's awesome if that's your thing. I love watching videos that do that. But for me, I'd probably do just about the same. Maybe better video quality and stuff, but I don't think it'd be too much different, But I'd still have that dream of being a horror host. So if I was going to show clips, I would like to actually show the whole movie and provide commentary here and there, like a commercial break, and then talk about trivia and talk about my opinions on the movie, and have a short miniature review at the end. So I'd definitely like to do that. So if I could ever work towards that, then that's something I would definitely do. But if I'm just reviewing a movie like I do now, I'd probably keep it just about the same. But I still have that dream being a horror host. Next to being a rock star, that's probably my biggest dream, to be a horror host like Svengoolie or Elvira or Joe Bob Briggs. Question number 11, when do you upload? I try to have a new video at least once or twice a week. I pretty much just whenever I find time, whenever I'm not busy with work or family or hanging out with friends. Just any time I just find a minute, when there's nobody home and I'm the only one here. And, I spend a lot of time in this basement with the lights out and watching horror movies in complete darkness. It's one of my favorite things to do. And sometimes if I'm in between watching, having some kind of marathon or watching TV shows or something, I'll just find time to upload a video. And pretty much whatever I'm inspired by at the time, I'll talk about. I'll do a review of a movie. I reviewed pretty much all my favorite movies, but there's still a lot that I plan to get to. So there's a lot of content. I'll never run out of material to talk about. Question number 12: what do you classify as a small YouTuber? Well, like Sean Erschen said, pretty much anybody who's under 1,000 subscribers, I guess. But then again, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, there's people who have thousands upon thousands of subscribers, are really well known, household names, YouTube celebrities. So I guess but I don't necessarily think that anybody who isn't one of those is a small YouTuber per se. I guess just an up and comer, somebody who a lot of people don't know about. But I like it this way. I think it's cool. It's more personal, and I have plenty of time to respond to everybody in the comments. If I had 30,000 some subscribers, and a lot of people were leaving me comments all day long, it'd be hard to keep up with all of them. And I like to watch other people's channels too. I like for people to recommend me their content, and I try to watch that when I can. If I had that many subscribers, it'd be hard to keep up with. So I'm kind of liking keeping it simple, for now. But if it happens, it happens. Question number 13: which big YouTuber would you love to collab with, and why? Definitely, well, I'm not going to say Angry Video Game Nerd per se, because that's just one of the many things that James Rolfe does from Cinemassacre. He's also an avid horror movie fan. He knows a lot about horror, especially classic horror, which is, I feel like something's kind of becoming more forgotten and more lesser talked about these days, which is tragic, because I grew up with watching all the, the Universal monsters and Hammer horror and stuff like that. The old Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, all that stuff. I love all those things. I'm glad that somebody else is giving them the recognition they deserve. I know a lot of other people talk about them too, but I think it'd be really cool to do a collab with him. He's obviously way more professional and way more well-known than I am, so it's kind of a long shot, but I think it'd be very cool, someday. because we have a lot in common. I mean, a lot. He's a lot of the same opinions I do, and he likes heavy metal as well. I don't think he listens to like death metal or black metal, but he likes, like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, stuff like that, and probably Metallica and like Slayer and stuff too. So I think that's pretty cool. And he's like, and of course the retro games, obviously the old school gaming, which is another thing I really enjoy. So I think it'd be pretty cool to do a collab with him. That'll probably never happen. It's probably a pipe dream, but it'd be a really cool thing because we have a lot in common. We have a lot of the same viewpoints, and he's got really good reviewing skills. So I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to do, though. But that's just a dream. That'll probably never happen because he's like probably the most, if not the most well-known YouTuber out there. All right, question number 14. Do you watch and support other small YouTubers? Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot that I try to at least check out one video from some of these up-and-comers, at least one video per week. I'm very familiar with, I've watched pretty much all of Sean Ershen's stuff. I've watched pretty much all of Bronco Juggalo's stuff and Lisa Loves. And there's a lot of people that I've watched a lot of their content. There's all these other up-and-comers. Movie Massacre I just started watching not too long ago. He has some great content. There's so many to keep up with. A lot of people message me or comment and say, check out my stuff, and I always try to get to it. I'm a really busy guy, I hardly ever have time to film videos myself, so but when I do find time, I like to binge watch some of these channels, and there's a lot of great stuff out there. People really should pay attention to these smaller YouTubers, as we're calling it, because there's a lot of really good stuff, and these people need to be watched. There's way too many to name, but there's a lot of great content out there in some of these slightly lesser known channels. So yeah, I definitely do. Question number 15. Where do you see yourself and your channel in 1 year? Probably about the same. Just, maybe I'll have more viewers and more comments, but other than that, 5 years? Well, I guess just even more subscribers and viewers and more people commenting, so I don't know, maybe I'll perfected the craft by then. I'll have better equipment and have better edits and maybe show some clips of my videos. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind about that, who knows? It's hard to say. I think I still won't have run out of stuff to talk about there because I have many interests, which I have like a big long mental list of things I'd like to talk about, and it'll be forever before I'm finished talking about this stuff. Just gotta put it all out there. Gotta recommend some good media. And I only talk about entertainment, by the way. I never talk about any real life issues. I never talk about controversial topics. I don't talk about religion or politics or anything else, philosophy. I don't talk about any of that on my channel. I'm very interested in human psychology, which is something I was thinking about maybe talking about, but so far I've only been focused on entertainment, which I'll talk about that some other time. But anyway, question number 16, here we go. What does your username mean? Well, yeah, again, my name is Hellhound, but the name of my channel is Horror Metal, and anybody who's ever made a collab with me on here, they're all part of the Horror Metal family. So it's not just me. I don't mind when people call me Horror Metal. That's fine. If they say, oh, hey, Horror Metal, I don't mind. That's fine. But really, Spellbinder, Dark Wolf, White Guys, Dr. Guts, they're all part of the Horror Metal family. Anybody ever, Dead Level Discussions. It's not just Hellhound's Midnight Spook Show, which is pretty much just me doing movie reviews or whatever. It's also, as I said, Dead Level Discussions, which I do a Spellbinder. We talk about pretty much mostly nerd culture, stuff like Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters and Lord of the Rings and James, Doctor Who and stuff like that. Scooby-Doo. And then there's the Video Graveyard, formerly known as Video Horror Section. I'll do a Dark Wolf. We pretty much talk about horror in the 80s and like VHS tapes and stuff like that. There's only 5 videos with him so far. And then there's White Geist, who's also part of that. And then there's Dr. Guts, which I do Into the Pit with. And we pretty much only talk about metal. That's the metal segment of this show. So most of my discussions about music are done from Into the Pit. So Horror Metal is just is the name of the channel for all that. All that content's on there. It's not just me. So it's all these other people too. I am the founder and de facto CEO of this channel, I guess you could say. But it doesn't mean that everybody. They're all part of the whole the Horror Metal name, not just me. And the username means, I'm sorry, I didn't answer the question. The username means just horror and metal, my 2 favorite things. And that's right, horror and metal, not horror metal like some subgenre of metal. A lot of people ask me, oh, horror metal, is that like horror punk? Is that like another music genre I haven't heard? No, it's separate. 2 separate things. Horror movies, and metal, heavy metal music. I probably should have called it horror and metal, put the and symbol in between it, but oh well, it doesn't matter. So it's horror and metal, two separate things. Horror movies, heavy metal music, not like a subgenre like horror punk. So that's what it means, and I've used that for pretty much everything. 17. Tell us your social medias. Well, I have a Facebook account. I have a Twitter account. If you want to find me on there, just let me know in the comments. I'll send you a message, or I'll tell you real quick or something. I like to keep my personal life separate from my Hellhound persona. Not because I'm afraid that people are going to come to get me, or I'm paranoid, or people are going to, stop me. I think it's more interesting to keep the mystique. That's the one thing I retained from my initial vision of the Hellhound character. The makeup and the hood and all the candles and all that. The one thing I retained is people know what my favorite movies are, but people don't know me very well. I've kept all personal things about myself pretty much all for this channel. The only thing I ever said was my height, which was on one of the last videos I did. Get the too much information tag. Heard about Lisa Loves. I said my height. And that's pretty much all there is. So I haven't said my real name or where I live or my age or where I'm from or anything. And it's not because I'm worried people are gonna find me or I don't want anybody to know. It's the mystery surrounding. That's the one thing I retained from the character of Hellhound that I initially envisioned. I think it's more interesting that way. But that all might change someday. Who knows? But yeah, if you want my social medias, just let me know. I'll tell you. I'll give the link to my Facebook or Twitter. I don't even care who you are. I'll tell anybody. I'll give it to anybody. It's not. I'm not hiding. So I'd just rather not put it out on a video. Question number 18. Do people from school find your channel? People I went to school with, a few of them know about my channel. Again, I keep my personal life and my Hellhound persona very separate. Again, not because I'm too really private or secretive or anything, just because that's just the way I've always kind of liked it, I'm a different person at work than I am at home, I guess, so, not everybody knows I'm into all this stuff. I'm kind of quiet and kind of, not antisocial, but just kind of keep to myself, in real life. I'm a very, kind of always been kind of a loner, so, but I have a lot of friends, too. A lot of good friends, some of the ones you've even seen on this channel, so, keep a really interesting circle, some great people, so yeah, a lot of people do know my channel, and obviously, Spellbinder and I went to school together, so, and he's, made content with me on this channel under the Dead Level Discussion show, so, yeah, a few people know, but not very many. Anyway, question number 19. List 3 hobbies outside of YouTube. Well, obviously watching horror movies and collecting horror movies. I'm an avid collector. I love collecting. I'm always collecting something. Like, I don't know why. I just love to buy a big bulk of I like to buy things in bulk. I love to have a big collection of everything. If I'm interested in something, I want to have like lots of it. Material possessions. Not just like when I'm really interested in a band, I want to have like a lot of their CDs. I don't want to just download their music and have it as a file somewhere on a computer or an iPod. I think it's better. I think it's cooler to actually have a physical product I can hold in my hand. Yeah, so 3 hobbies. Yeah, watching and collecting horror movies, obviously listening to metal, and playing guitar, just to name a few. There's a lot, I have a lot of interests in a lot of things I do, but that's just 3 of them. And question number 20, the final question, who's your favorite small YouTuber? Oh, I could be here all day. I can't, again, I should have made a list. I can't just pick just one. There's no way. Again, I'd have to make a list, but I've talked about these guys a lot, so maybe I'll leave some in the description, but off the top of my head, let's try to make this quick. Definitely Sean Erschen, Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, Lisa Loves, Horrific Nightmares JM, Last of Him 76, Movie Massacre. There's another up-and-comer who's just recently started, Horror, Sci-Fi, Mythology, I believe his name is. He's a small YouTuber who's up-and-coming, who's has some good stuff, so he's another one I recommend to check out. Not many people know about him yet, but hopefully that's going to change. Yeah, if I miss anybody, I'm sorry. Just because it's too much to think of. I should have wrote it down, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, because this video is already longer than I thought it would be. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, there's so many good ones. I'll have to leave a list in the description because I could be here all day. But those are some of the good ones. Again, I can't narrow it down to just one because there's so many great people out there, and I'm really glad to have met them through this channel. I'm really glad to have them in my life. Alright guys, well thank you for watching. This has been the Midnight Spook Show here on the Horror Metal channel. I encourage you to make a response to this video. If you're a small YouTuber, I think this is a good way to get people to know your channel. If feel free to make a response. I'm just leaving the tag open, so anybody who wants to do it, go ahead and do it. As Sean Erschen would say, answer the call. All right, guys. I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching. Later.